In this video, we are going to learn how to retouch our pictures, removing blemishes using the retouching tools. You're going to find a good picture to edit. It works well with landscapes if there's dirt or trash on the ground, or the most ideal candidate is going to be a portrait. You're going to right click, edit in Photoshop, edit with Lightroom adjustments, hit edit. This will launch Photoshop. In this type of editing, usually we want to zoom into the picture. You can use Command plus to zoom in. So I just hold down the Command key and tap the plus key, which is next to delete, to zoom in. Space bar, if you hold it down and click on your mouse, you can pan around. The first thing I want to do is my levels adjustment or curves adjustment to adjust exposure. So I'm going to go ahead and click on levels. Bring that down to the shadows there. I'm going to bring this over to brighten it up. Maybe fill in a little bit. It's a little dark there. You can tell by how most of the values are in the dark areas. So I'm going to just shift that over to fill in the dark areas. Do before and after. So it's brightened it up quite a bit. And I also want to warm the picture a little bit. So I'm going to go to my filter, photo filter, add a warming filter, change the tint. And then I'm going to turn it down a little so it's not, like this one better, so it's not overbearing. I would say somewhere in there. And then what I'm going to do is use the retouching tools to retouch the skin. When you're doing retouching, you want to duplicate your picture so that you're not making permanent changes to the actual picture. So what you do is you go to your layers, make that larger, go to your layers, click on the background, right click, duplicate layer, and we're going to call this retouch and hit OK. Now you'll see that you have two. So your background will be your original and you want to be selected on the retouch layer. I'm going to Command plus to zoom back in. One of the easiest tools to use for retouching is the spot healing brush. Go ahead and click on that. It looks like a little band-aid. And it defaults to content aware. To change the size of your brush, usually you want it about the size of the blemish, but you can right click and change the size, or you can tap on the bracket keys on the keyboard to make your brush bigger or smaller. Tap, 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 tap on the brackets. Here, what you do is you literally just paint over any sort of blemish with your mouse, and it should magically retouch your picture pretty easily. This is probably the simplest tool to use, but there's certain situations where this does not work. As I'm going, what I like to check is a before and after. So I'm going to go to the retouch. I can check before and after. And it also helps you identify areas that maybe you missed. Now, usually I don't want to retouch moles because that's something that's actually on a person's face. That's natural, that wouldn't be removed. But anything like skin, blemishes, like acne, you can remove. So again, before and after, looking good. Another tool you can use is the patch tool. You click on that, and what you do is instead of painting over a blemish, you can make a circle around an area, selecting it, and then you click and drag and find an area that is unblemished that you want it to match. And it blends it in. You have a couple options. There's patch normal or patch content aware. Normal is going to sort of blend it in, and then content aware is going to try and match what's around it. This one might be a little tricky, trying to find a spot to match. So now you're seeing like it's adding a little bit of hair, so that's maybe not ideal. So I might go back and try that one again. Maybe a smaller selection would work, and drag it sort of down there. Here we go. So depending on what you're doing, this works really well on edges. So if there was something on the edge here that matched there, you sort of just drag it, try to match it up with an unblemished area, and it'll try to blend it in. So that was with normal. I'm going to go back and see if we do the same selection with content aware. So I just go back in time, try that. And usually it's a little bit more of a natural blend. And then to deselect it, you can just click off to the side and it'll deselect. Then you can Command 0, zoom out. Again, you can go. And it's important to take a step back and zoom out and make sure things are looking better and not worse, because sometimes with retouches, things can get a bit splotchy. Sometimes doing the patch tool on a larger area can also sort of remove some patchiness you might get. So that'll sort of maybe blend it in a little bit more. And again, zoom in, check it out, make sure it looks good close. And also check that it looks good from far away. Zoom out. When you're done, you can go ahead and do a file and save.